Today we're going to take a Dreadnought and insert a Chubby Chungus. And it's all your fault. You see, oh look, another one. Ever since the Pokemon Kill team I've had very many comments asking for the impossible.
Make a whole army.
That's an extreme request and the workload involved is far too much. So instead, why don't we build 2 armies? Sorry, what? The best place to start a new army is with a Dreadnought, and the best place to start a Dreadnought is with magnetised weapons. So we'll insert the Milliput ball and then the magnet, before shipping it off to our child labour warehouse to be assembled.
Entombed in steel. To rest, captured, cursed, a slave at best, chained and bound, forced to fight.
It's a great place to work, really, they love it. Anyway, we're going to need a base for our big boy and the rest of the army when we build it. I've opted for these basaltic bases from Charlie Factory. Tons of sizes, bases and toppers. Look at them all, loads of them. Another benefit of these is that they use this glorious support system for the bases so they don't come out looking warped and deformed. My little brother could have done with that. We'll also stick a war casualty on the ground here, a drone in the dirt where they belong. It just needs a little bit of modification. It needs to be fused with something equally annoying, equally insufferable. Zubat. Almost got away. Is there a more annoying Pokemon? Maybe. Is there a Pokemon who it's more satisfying to cut the wings off of? No. Oh no! It's hurting itself in its confusion. Good. Damn it, I needed that wing. Found it. Chill out. Freaking chicken. Look at that funny little creature. Snip the drone fins off. File them down. We have some new pieces for you, dear. Small amount of neck surgery. Who needs an 8K futuristic robo camera eye when you could have a bat head with no eyes and a relentless screech? You just chill out there for a moment because it's time for some muddy ground. Fingers crossed, no mold this time. Come here, rat bag. Smear it on, we need a comfy muddy bed. His final resting place. We're all out of potions, young man. Attach the wings? We've definitely improved the flight capabilities of that drone. And a rogue Pokeball to finish it off. A quick base coat, black and then grey. Now then, with this army, starting with the Dreadnought, we're going to explore the idea of Team Rocket in the 41st Millennium. And that means we need a paint scheme to match. We'll start off with some weathering marks around each panel. I'm currently suffering with the flu and have the shakes, so this technique is compulsory for now. Some of this will be covered or dulled by the first coat of paint, but we'll go back over it afterwards. On to our first speed paint, Grim Black. That's what they used to call me. Ignore him. You'll notice we can still see some of those chicken scratches on the armour through this paint. Hopefully, once it's dried, it stays that way. Now we need a couple of white panels in keeping with the Team Rocket scheme. We'll add some custom decals to these shortly. On to red. Again, matching the Team Rocket red, we'll use this as an accent colour on the weaponry. First with Flesh Tearer's red, and then we're going to execute the chop on chop technique. So we'll need to visit our Sauron Drybrush palette, witness the birth of that over on Patreon, whereby we can correct the amount of paint on our dry brush and then proceed to hit the edges of the red areas with white. Once we have sufficient coverage, we'll go back over it with the Poppy Red speed paint. As for the fine silky skin of Chubby Chungus, we have mixed a couple of speed paints together to achieve that unmistakable shade of Snorlax. One thick coat for the rear end. As for the pink skin, it's a coat of pale flesh and then the peachy flesh speed paint. He looks like a bit of a painfully suntanned baby right now, but give it time to dry. We're executing round 2 of
chop on chop,
which for the uninitiated is slap chop on slap chop. In this instance, we're using it to intensify the colours on his head. Do you want to see my best straight line with the shakes? Is he drunk? Oh my lord, put me out of my misery. Finally, for the armour panels, we'll add some more chicken scratches. Are we done? Something is off. Something doesn't feel right. Oh my god, we almost set the foot fetishists off. We better correct those before we're too far gone. You didn't see a thing. Now for something new, some custom decals. The good news is, if you're seeing this, it probably worked. And by the way, it is decals, not decals, you absolute lunatic. Here we have everything you'll need to make your own. You'll need transfer paper, spray varnish. The micro set is optional, but it helps. Also, if you could just imagine that the quail is an inkjet printer. Step 1, you need an image, or multiple images. Given the price of transfer paper, you'll want to make the most of it, so best to fill the sheet. You can use the same image, different images, different sizes for tanks, soldiers, banners. One for you, one for your granny, whatever you like. This is the sheet we'll be printing off. Step 2, insert our transfer paper into the printer. I guess it's that way around? We'll find out. Step 3, print. Step 4, spray varnish. Now, it says you should do 2 coats, ideally leaving 24 hours between each, but it's more like 3 or 4 coats. So step 5, spray varnish. Step 6, spray varnish. Step 7, spray varnish. Onto the cutting mat to select our first contender, the lightly modified Team Rocket logo. So now we need the micro set and our Citadel water cup. They actually sell these on Temu now for £70 each, so quite a bit of a saving. Let's dip our decal in the water, and while that loosens up, we'll paint the surface with micro set. This will start to nibble and soften the decal once it's applied. As long as you don't use too much, it makes it easier to work with and will help the decal to sit flat. Whoa, you okay? Doesn't smell that strong, does it? Oh. As you can see, we've got no trouble getting the decal off the transfer paper. Quite surprising when something works. But yeah, that's not bad. Just one more and then we'll dab off the excess water with a tissue. Finally, the base. After a white dry brush, we'll need 2 coats of Slaanesh Grey, which wasn't quite dark enough, so I added a bit of black. Then a black wash. Before an orange dry brush over one half of the base, and then a blue dry brush over the opposite half. Then a light grey dry brush over the entire thing to add a final highlight before a midnight blue wash. Now for Zoe the Zubat, controversial, but I think we'll paint it like a Zubat. Standard Tau colours for the drone body. I'll be a Pokeball painting master by the time this is done. Now to pin the obesity epidemic to the base, never to be removed again. Drill a couple of holes in the feet. Insert the tough steel wire and then drill a couple of holes in the base and insert. Now, to plan the rest of the army, we'll be turning to Patreon. One of the armies will be Team Rocket Space Marines, and the other, well, that's yet to be decided. There will be a vote taking place over on Patreon starting very soon, in which we'll decide the Rocket Marines' opponents. And then, over the course of the next few months, in between other projects, we'll see some man-made horrors beyond our comprehension, particularly if the second army is Tyranids. If you have any diabolical combinations that definitely shouldn't see the light of day, leave a comment, maybe a Diglett war boss. I don't know. Let me know, check out the Patreon, or subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss the outcome.
Capturing the very best, cladding them in steel. Send them out across the stars to claim what's rightfully ours. Team Rocket, 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 Rocket power. The galaxy will be ours. Team Rocket, 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 Rocket power. The galaxy will be ours. Will be yours.
The first of many. Maybe. Like the video, let me know what you think, subscribe, join the Discord. Love you. Bye, bye, bye.